Most HOI4 games end without us ever actually reaching the goal we set, whether that goal is winning World War II or straight up achieving global dominance. A lot of campaigns just stop. And sometimes it is not even because you lost battles, your front lines collapsed, or you messed something up. A lot of time it is just because of reasons that are completely out of your control. So today we're going to dive into why most of us never actually finish a HOI4 campaign. Most of us start a campaign super excited to try out a new focus tree or a new path, whether it is monarchist, democratic, communism, or fascism. Sometimes we even set a cursed goal for ourselves, like going for a full world domination. We start off simple, researching the basic techs, building civilian or military factories, assigning new advisors, and just getting everything set up. The game runs smoothly. No lag, no stress, and let's be honest, most of us, if not all of us, are playing on speed 5. The early game is quiet, there is really nothing to worry about here. During this time, we're also planning ahead, figuring out how we might expand, who we are going to attack, and who we need to keep an eye on. We plan our army too, whether we're going to use Air Force or Navy, and what kind of divisions we're going to use. We could use tanks, special forces, or just good old line infantry. Then, the first war happens. This could be a setup war to prepare for World War II, or it could be World War II itself. Either way, this is when we actually start playing the game. We're either micromanaging every single division or just battle planning our way to victory. We feel the incredible smoothness of the game while we enjoy fighting this war. We grind experience to unlock doctrines and apply some army spirits. But this is also the stage where something can go wrong. And when that happens, we either end the campaign right there or just restart and try again. And when World War II hits, we became at the heart of the game. We're juggling multiple fronts, either attacking or desperately trying to defend. Maybe you're playing as the Axis, the Allies, or you have gone fully independent and made your own side. Either way, the stress level skyrockets. You're training more troops, planning naval invasions, and maybe even setting up few collaboration governments. You also manage different fronts and send help to your incompetent allies to save a front from collapsing. The war ends up taking most of your campaign time and energy before you can actually finish it. And once you do, you're exhausted, either from all the micromanaging or from constantly babysitting your completely incompetent allies. By this point, you have probably reached 1944 or 1945. Most of your tech is researched, and your national focus tree is likely finished. All of this slowly pushes you toward ending the campaign, even if you never actually finish the goal you originally set. At this stage, most players just give up on continuing, either because there's no new content left to play, or you're simply too tired to keep going. A perfect example of this is when you reach the point where you don't even care about researching advanced tech anymore, because what you already have works just fine. The AI isn't that challenging with his divisions or even with his tactics, so you start beating them easily with your overpowered army using only battle planning. That's when repetition kicks in. You're using the same army, the same divisions, and the same strategies to steamroll enemies. And by then, your country is probably the strongest nation on the planet. So invading more countries just feels pointless. Now add the infamous late game lag into all of this that probably starts at 1943. And that's usually the final push that makes most of us quit and probably regret ever setting long-term goals like conquering the entire world. At that point, it is honestly way more fun to just start a brand new campaign with a new nation than to keep playing in the post-World War II slog. Now, one thing Paradox could do to encourage players to stick around in the late game is to add more late game content. Instead of constantly releasing DLCs that mostly focus on reworked national focus trees, they could focus on proper post-World War II content. Imagine finishing World War II and then smoothly transitioning into a Cold War era. How much would that change the way we play the game? Now, of course, doing such thing may require developing new mechanics, like post-World War II peace conference and applying new scenarios. Yeah, it is true that there are Cold War mods out there, but in those mods, you're usually starting after World War II. What we really need is an extension of the base game, something where your decisions during World War II actually shape how the Cold War plays out. That will give the game a fresh start and lots of possible new scenarios. Like if the Axis won World War II, the peace treaty would be a lot different from if the Allies won the war. And of course, Paradox would also need to deal with the lag problem, because adding late game content without fixing late game performance would just make that content useless. Another big thing they could improve is AI behavior. The AI needs to build actually good divisions, good enough to force us to keep researching and using advanced techs. That way, players wouldn't feel like they are using the same divisions and the same strategies over and over again. You would actually have to keep evolving your army to beat the AI, which would make the game feel fresh again. But let's be honest, knowing Paradox and how they handle expansions, they're probably not going to do any of this. So realistically, the only thing left for us players is to end our campaign without ever finishing the goals we originally set. Or we solve the problem ourselves by installing mods. And let's be real, the only reason HOI4 is still alive today is because of the mods. Mods fix pretty much every problem we have talked about so far. Some of them are incredibly optimized and with barely any lag, like Old World Blues and Equestria at War, while others add way more content than the vanilla ever did, like Road to 56 and Kaiser Reich. And Kaiser Redux, of course, for the people who are really mad that I'm not even mentioning that mods in my videos. But if incompetent AI is your issue, there are also mods for that too. At this point, modders are basically doing Paradox's job, giving us content that is often far better than what Paradox offers. And on top of that, it is completely free. Unlike expansions that are priced so high they sometimes feel like you're buying an entirely new game. So honestly, I can't really blame players when they say they don't want to pay for something that already exists as a mod, especially when that mod is sometimes even better from the original game mechanics.